When you've got an insane amount of money, fame comes with the territory. Everyone suddenly becomes interested in you when you could pretty much buy anything that you want. Lifestyles of the rich and the famous have been an obsession for us mere normals for centuries. So usually when you watch one of our videos, the chances are that you know most of the people we're talking about. And if you don't, then most of the time the rest of the world does. Some like the limelight more than others. Some build flamethrowers and launch cars into space, while others buy tropical islands and invite Hollywood celebrities to hang out. This kind of behaviour brings with it a fair amount of attention. Then again, there are those that stay out of the limelight with a combination of blending in with the rest of society and just giving the press nothing to go on. Whether it's one of the richest men in the world who wears similar clothes every day, through to a venture capitalist worth hundreds of millions that you can't even Google, there are plenty of low-profile, mega-rich people out there to consider. We're going to look at the most noteworthy of them before revealing the richest person that you've never heard of. These people might like a low profile, but we don't. So remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel to see plenty more luxurious videos like this one. But for now, let's look at the richest people you've never heard of. Imagine owning a part of Time Warner, Goldman Sachs, eBay, Microsoft, Viacom, Morgan Stanley, News Corp, JP Morgan Chase, and Twitter. This is what Israeli venture capitalist Aviv Nevo's profile looks like. He's a man with his fingers in many expensive pies, but he doesn't want you to know about them. His influence might stretch over Wall Street, Silicon Valley and Hollywood, but trying to find him online is like finding a needle in a haystack. There can't be many people worth $800 million that you could say that about, but Nevo has managed it. It's fair to say that this is also a modest valuation as well, because if he were to sell off his stock, you could guarantee that he'll be banking a fair more than this estimation. Sometimes it's the little things you don't think about that make people very rich. If you can monetize something that people use all over the world, then you're going to make an awful lot of money. Thanks in no small part to his grandfather, America Amorim is now worth almost $5 billion because of cork. Yes, that thing that stops wine spilling everywhere. Amorim has taken the family business that his grandfather founded to new heights. And now Cortesera Amorim makes a substantial amount of the world's cork from 5 business units. And despite this, he's still relatively unknown. Have you heard of David's son? Thought not. Have you ever bought a phone? Thought so. Well, every time you do, Son probably gets some commission. And because of this, he's thought to be worth $5.5 billion. This is all because David's son is the co-founder of Kingston Technology, a company which specialises in computer memory products. In 1996, he sold it to venture capital firm SoftBank for $1.5 billion. But not without ensuring that his tech guaranteed him a paycheck with the sale of phones that use it, which is pretty much all phones. He had humble beginnings, started all this from a garage, and now he lives an equally humble and philanthropic life in Irvine, California. Because of this, he has 4 sentences on Wikipedia. I'm sure you probably have family members with more. We've already looked at cork. Now another very useful thing that we all need but rarely talk about. Screws. The Worth Group supplies these as well as assembly and fastening materials for construction, automotive and engineering trades across the planet, which has led them to become a multi-billion-dollar company. Under the control of Reinhold Wirth, the company only continues to grow, building on the legacy of his father's modest beginnings. What's not modest is his bank balance. At almost $10 billion, it's surprising he's not more well known. But I suppose screws aren't the most glamorous product to be reporting on. And neither is cement production, which maybe explains why Aliko Dangote isn't a household name, but a very rich one at $12.9 billion. The Nigerian-born entrepreneur made his money not just from cement, but also manufacturing salt, sugar, and flour, basic ingredients that the whole world needs. He might be the richest man in Africa, but his profile is low elsewhere. We're about halfway through our list of little-known wealthy folk now, and so we don't suffer the same fate, the profile, not the money. Please like this video if you're enjoying it, and remember to subscribe to get the latest videos on luxury straight to your inbox. But now, on with the list. There might be a trend here with people inheriting their wealth and not wanting to flaunt it. Abigail Johnson is the granddaughter of the founder of Fidelity Investments, and as CEO, she oversees $2.1 trillion in worldwide investors' savings, pensions, and investments. Her worth is almost $15 billion for her troubles, but rather than buying the latest jet, she prefers to buy modestly and get her head down into her work, earning the title of one of the most powerful women in finance. Our next person on the list has got rich from the fact that people will spend a lot of money on sunglasses, and this guy has the worldwide monopoly on them. Leonardo Del Vecchio owns Sunglasses Hut, LensCrafters, Ray-Ban, Oakley, amongst others, and all of them have one thing in common: a nice big profit margin. Del Vecchio is the richest man in Italy and the 37th richest man in the world, and as long as people keep buying sunglasses, we'll only get richer. But despite all of this, Del Vecchio is far from a celebrity. Into the top 3 low-profile rich lists now, and we're looking at groceries. The European version of Walmart, Aldi, made Carl Albrecht a millionaire. Before he passed in 2014, he was the 21st richest person in the world at $20 billion. During his time, he lived the life of a recluse, preferring to shun any accolades and transferring them to his employees. He lived the philosophy of his store to keep things as modest as possible. Our second richest person you've probably never heard of is Maria Fisolo, who may take the title of the world's richest widow. Michelle Ferrero was behind the second largest sweet company in Europe, responsible for Nutella and Kinder Eggs, amongst others. But when he died in 2014, his vast wealth transferred to his wife, who is now estimated to be worth almost $25 billion. That's a pretty sweet deal for the 98-year-old who's able to sit on that pot in the wealth playground of Monaco. And now on to the richest person that would be surprised if you've heard of. Search Ortega and Amancio isn't the first name that comes up, which is surprising because the Spanish businessman and boss of fashion chain Zara is worth almost $80 billion, and up until recently was one of the wealthiest people on earth. Despite this, he's still very humble and unassuming, sitting with his employees in the company cafeteria, visiting the same coffee shop every day, and dressing in the same plain blue blazer and white shirt most days. So that's the end of our list. Is there anyone here you've heard of? Why not let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. If you want to see more top quality videos on luxury, be sure to hit that subscribe button and you'll get the latest videos straight to your mailbox. Thanks again for watching and stay luxurious.